Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the European crossover webinar. And let's take a look at where we are right now. We're actually right here, close to the lows here in the euro. Take a look here. We did close. We covered in the Asian analysis to get rid set up for the week ahead. We closed below that weekly level of 1288, so that opened the door for us to push lower. And actually, we can potentially slide as much as 1188. We'll see whether or not that happens. Let's go and take a look at what we've got as far as data. Coming in today, looks like no European data. So at 8:30 Eastern, we do get Chicago National Activity Index, U.S. existing home sales at 10 a.m., and Eurozone consumer confidence flash at 10 a.m. Eastern. Let's see here. Some Australian data. Manufacturing PMI flash, that'll be into this next day. And then tomorrow, German GDP, French PMI services and manufacturing tomorrow. German IFO on Wednesday. Of course, in the States, we're going to get initial claims, jobless claims, durable goods, initial claims, well, jobless claims, I should say, will be coming on Wednesday because Thursday will be Thanksgiving and the market will be closed here in the States. And generally, we don't see much of any activity whatsoever on Friday. So just so all are aware. And as you can see, stocks over here pushing near or at all-time highs again. We're getting kind of a little mixed bag. I am showing here in the 2-hour chart. You can see here we took this dip, then we let's see, then we pushed higher, then broke lower, although within the target range, and we didn't take out any key support. Then we pushed even higher. The only thing is, I would say that is on the daily. Take a look at the NASDAQ. Look here, we have not, for how many days straight we've gone within the stair step. Because even though we closed lower on this day, we did not break the stair step. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This will be the 8th straight day. And it remains positive until we break the stair step. So S&Ps a little back and forth, also still moving higher, but NASDAQ still pushing higher. And gold has really started to push down here. We did come into that support, bias chart support we had on Friday, which is 1845. We pressed a little bit lower, but we do have a level here at 1836. And then, of course, crude trying to push up a little bit higher today. Oh, actually, there's a little, pretty good little push up in here and quick little dip back here. So with that, we're going to get started with the analysis. So we can bring this down here and expand it out. So I can make it a little bit easier. What the heck? There we go. And looks like NASDAQ is still pushing a little bit hard here. Let's go and move into the euro. So the euro closed Friday below the weekly level of 1288, allowing for a further move down. Daily support level comes in at 1271, but there's a potential move to 1181. Immediate resistance is going to be 1318, followed by 1372. Now, they had tried to rally back here on Friday to this 1318, and I was warned about that in the chat room. Said, hey, we're here at 1318. So we dipped below 113. They rallied back up, and then they just rolled right back, started to slide right back down. And as I said, they closed below that weekly level. So it really opens the door for them to move lower. There is some support at 1271. We're kind of hanging around here at that 1267. Now we're here at 1272. Yeah, we'll stick with what we said, 71, but we know that we can go as low as 1181. Resistance will be 1318. And with that, we're going to move into the cable. So cable spent most of the prior week in a rebound mode. You can see that here, but found offers before the key resistance we had, which was actually had on Thursday and Friday, 35.25. Sending the pair to challenge, and I'm going to put it here 135, send the pair to challenge at 134, it should say 34, on Friday. Support to begin the week will be 34.10 with resistance at 35.09. So 34.10. And resistance will be 35.09. Obviously, it's still bearish. And let's move into the Aussie dollar. So the Aussie dollar broke to new recent lows on Friday. You can see that right here in this daily chart. The door is open for a challenge of 71.75 to begin the week, with additional support at 71.10. 58. Resistance will be 73.11. So we broke lower, trying to hang on to these lows, but once again, the door is open for them to push lower. We'll see whether or not that comes to fruition, but it will be 71.75. And resistance 73.11. Moving on to the dollar yen. So the dollar yen posted a bearish engulfing bar on Friday, although it's more like a doji. You can see right here, because if you look at just the body, and that's what I'm looking for. For me, the key thing, like here, this is actually a bearish engulfing bar right here. You see that? Which really opens the door for them to push lower, which they did 2 days later, push lower. But you can see here on Friday, it was a much more tighter action in the body, but still it engulfed the prior body. So bearish engulfing, but it said, well, it looks more like a doji, which it does. Support to start the week will be 1344. And I'll show you where I'm coming up. You see this bar right there? So I'm going with that. Right there. And that's what I'm coming up with 1344. And resistance is going to be 1438. You can see what I'm coming up there. I guess we'll give it the 38. But, well, I guess stick to what we have. 1437, because that's where the bar is. Well, no, there it is, 1438. So 1438. She's still bearish. I mean, bullish, I meant to say. As far as the bias. With that, we'll go and move into the cash dollar index. So the dollar index posted a new closing high on Friday. You can see that right here, eclipsing the 96 level. Immediate resistance will be 96.25, followed by 96.71. We'll take a look at the weekly. So if you look at this lower bar right here, that's what I'm coming up right here with the 96.25, and you can see here 96.71. So I don't want to say, oh, it's a straight shot to 96.71. No, there's going to be, if you see where this bar broke here, you take the low of that bar, we're looking at 25. So it's 96.25. 71. And support is going to be 95.48. It's 95.48. Right there. So 95.48 for support. Obviously, it's bullish. And with that, we'll move into Bitcoin. Well, we talked about this over the past few weeks, and you can see the bearish setup that we had. Now, I did get invalidated from the prior 2 weeks, but I said, hey, the way this closed, it opened the door for it to be susceptible. And certainly we saw that last week. So Bitcoin closed the prior week above 63,200. I don't know why they did an update. So Bitcoin closed Friday, taking out the closing price of the prior 4 weeks. Support will be 55,315, followed by a weekly level of 50,441. Resistance will be 58,639, followed by 60,971. Let's get that. Okay, so you can see this here, and let's go and notate it here. So Bitcoin closed Friday, taking out the closing price of the prior 4 weeks. You can see that 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Support will be 55,315, followed by 54,441. There we go. So we'll go 55,315. And resistance will be 58,639. If we go to the 2 hour, I believe it is, to look at that. Write it down. 58,639, followed by 60,971. I think it was a 4 hour I got that on. Let's see here. Let's go to the daily. Doggone. What the heck? I think I didn't update it correctly or something. I had them marked off. See, let's go back here again. Not sure what the heck is going on here. I know I wouldn't have done it by the 30-minute. Let's go back to the 2 hour. I don't know. Some of this got messed up. And then there's my 60,971. Well, there's that one off of this bar, but this stuff didn't get updated, I guess. I don't know what the heck happened. So right there. That's probably what happened. Well, anyway, it's 60,971 on the upper side, but 58,639 is what we run into the initial resistance. There's something with that wick, but it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Going back to the daily. Well, there they are. We got the weekly level there, 54,415, 55,315. We haven't quite made it to the 55,315, but I remember this one specifically, the 60,971. So I don't know where this thing went haywire. But let's go and move on to the ES. So SPX futures closed Friday above the 3 prior weeks. Take a look at a weekly chart. There we go. See that? Let's move it back to the daily. Resistance will be 46.92. That's wrong. Doggone it. Ridiculous. Yeah. No. So SPX futures closed the prior week at another all-time high. The daily bar posted is a negative doji. You can see it right there. There's Fridays. But the markets will need to close sub 46.80. And you can see that would break this level right here. I don't know. I guess this stupid stuff isn't updating because I had that bar there. You can see right here. Right there, you see, that's 46.80. That would break this level here, you see? So once again, says here, but the market will need to close sub 46.80 to break the stair step. Resistance will be 47.12, followed by 47.23, which is those all-time highs. Immediate support will be 46.89. So So 46.89 plus 80. That would break. If we close above 46.80, then I've closed below 46.80. That'll open the door for those to move lower. So it doesn't look like it, but I'm just saying that's what it would take. Resistance on the upside is 47.12. All the all-time highs at 23. Then on to the NASDAQ. You can see this thing is still scooting up higher. And you can see here we're above the 127% extension. And then look at this. And I talked to it. Look at that. We have just continued to move higher. Incredible. Certainly it looks like that would be the move here because now that's off of this extension right here. The extension is from this high to this low. 16,793 would be 100%, 161% extension. I just got to go with that. There's no getting around it. We can say, oh, well, there's some at 1675 and some at 700, and I'm sure there'll be some at 700. Doesn't mean we'll get there, but that's what we'd be looking at, 16,793. And as long as it's stair stepping, how can't deny it? You see what I'm saying? So there it is. And then to look at the 2 hour, that would be support right there. Right there. 16,565. Actually, you can even move a little bit higher right there, which would be 16,581. But this is the real support. That's the real support. 16,565. Moving on to gold. I was looking to make sure this stupid thing updated. Gold pair back from the resistance zone of 1876.84. And we see this, we've had that for the last couple of weeks as a potential, or actually the beginning of last week. The shiny metal tested the bias chart support, you can see here, of 1845 on Friday. So that was our bias chart support. Support to start the week will be 1836. We haven't quite made it there, but you can see where they're coming across with this 1836. With a break open for a test of 1826. Resistance will be 1859. So 1836, even though we're at the support we had on Friday, the potential it could still dip down to 1836. And we'll be looking at resistance here at 1859. I think we pulled that up with the 2-hour chart. Or let me see right here. Hang on. Did we go with? Yeah, I think we did right here. This bar right there. Nope. There, 1859. Moving on to crude. So crude oil drops have come down into the weekly level of $75. Through into the weekly level of $75. Additional support will be $74.19. Resistance will be 76.36, which that's where we're at right now, followed by 77.17. So 75.01 right now. And 76.36, followed by 77. I'll take a look at the 2-hour. Just took a stab up towards the 76.75. There's a 76.17 right there. You can see we're coming up with that. Take a closer look on the 30-minute. Of course, this mark's extremely oversold. We challenged this area here. We even got beyond that. Build some stops there. This would obviously be bearish. It's rolled over since last week. And there we have, there's the bias chart. I'll get that posted into the room. And thanks for joining us here on the European crossover.